Hello everyone, I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. In the headlines, Prime Minister Skerrit to prioritize electoral reform as he takes his oath of office as Prime Minister for the fourth time. Election observers say Dominica's December 6 poll was free and fair, and opposition leader Lennox Linton says his party does not recognize the results of the December 6 poll as it was rigged. The details of the news coming up.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
There's a reason you get up on a morning. A reason you pick yourself up, start the day. Maybe it's sheer grit. Maybe it's your ethics. Maybe it's because you know people like you are waiting for people just like you. We all have our reasons, and for Republic Bank, that reason is you. Every little thing, every big thing, it's all about making a difference in your life. Because after 182 years, if it's one thing we're sure about, is that the difference is you. We're here to help.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
I, Roosevelt Skerrit, do swear.
I, Roosevelt Skerrit, do swear.
That I will faithfully execute.
I will faithfully execute.
The office of Prime Minister.
The office of Prime Minister.
Without fear or favor.
Without fear or favor.
Affection or ill will.
Affection or ill will.
And that in the execution of the functions of that office.
And that in the execution of the functions of that office.
I will honor, uphold, and preserve.
I will honor, uphold, and preserve
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Dominica.
The Constitution of the Commonwealth of Dominica.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit being sworn in on Saturday. This means the Prime Minister is now embarking upon his fourth term as Prime Minister of this country. His cabinet will be sworn in on the 17th of December. The Dominica Labour Party won a significant victory against the opposition United Workers' Party in the December 6 general election, securing 18 seats, and the UWP retaining 3, Marigot, Salisbury and Roseau North. The Labour Party generally kept its seats while adding Roseau Central, taking back Roseau South and also winning Wesley, contested by Fidel Grant. Friday's DLP victory mirrors the results of the 2009 general election when the UWP had 3 seats and the DLP 18. Prime Minister Skerrit maintains the December 6 general election was free and fair. He says the election was conducted under laws which have governed elections here in the 41 years since independence.
The people of the Commonwealth of Dominica have spoken, and I want to thank them for giving the Dominica Labour Party a resounding victory and returning us to office for another term as the next government. I want to thank you for giving me the honor and privilege of serving you as Prime Minister and for electing the Dominica Labour Party as your government. We are humbled and grateful for your continued confidence and support.
In his victory speech on Friday night, the Prime Minister acknowledged that the election campaign had been a bruising one.
I want to thank all the people who voted today, and in so doing, demonstrated that democracy in our country is alive and well. It was Labour's contention from the very outset that the ballot box is a fair and legitimate expression of what the people want. It was always Labour's preferred choice over the divisive rhetoric and actions which put nationals in fear, harmed our social fabric, our economy, and our international reputation. Our citizens have made their choice. We must all now respect that. Given the atmosphere of fear and intimidation created by the United Workers' Party opposition over the course of this campaign, many people could have opted to stay at home. But Dominicans have once again shown tremendous determination, courage, and resilience in the face of all the odds. They turned out in large numbers to show their dissatisfaction with the opposition party. I salute the people of this country who continue to make me proud to be Dominican.
Mr. Skerritt said there was a great deal of hard work ahead, and among his first responsibilities will be to address reputational concerns as a matter of urgency. Meantime, leader of the opposition United Workers' Party says the UWP will not recognize the results of the December 6 general election. Here's Andrea Louis with a report.
Results on Friday night showed the Dominica Labour Party winning its record 5th consecutive term in office as it won 18 of the 21 seats up for grabs. This number shows an increase of 3 seats on the DLP side, namely Wesley, Roseau South and Roseau Central. The United Workers' Party was left holding the Marigot, Salisbury and Roseau North seats. United Workers' Party leader Lennox Linton says the December 6th general elections were not free and fair.
So the elections were not free. The elections were not fair. The elections were rigged. They were stolen. And so we don't recognize the results. We cannot recognize governments where ruling parties pervert democracy, subvert the will of the people by stealing elections. And so we don't recognize this government that has come as a result of the theft of the elections of 2019.
Mr. Linton has also gone on to question the reports of the electoral observer missions which were on island for the elections.
We note the observations of the observer missions, 2 of them so far, the OAS and the Commonwealth, which have indicated in broad that the elections reflected the will of the people who voted, whatever that means. We had the opportunity to speak with the observer missions as they came in to do their work. And one of the things we pointed out was that the biggest threat to a fair election in Dominica was the lack of electoral reform.
The UWP leader says the party will recognize the 3 seats which the party kept.
We are saying to the people of Dominica, we need now to demand fresh elections, because as far as we're concerned, this illegitimate result renders the election null and void, and it renders the government null and void. We will not recognize this government because it is the result of a stolen election. That's where we stand. We, in the United Workers' Party, consider that the 3 seats that we hold were properly won. We submitted ourselves to the requirements of the constitutional rule of law and were elected as the representatives of our separate communities in the Parliament of Dominica.
You are watching Channel 5 News. We'll have more after this.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Si ou ni maladie HIV et bien maladie sexuelle, si ou pas protéger corps lors qu'un sexe avec plusieurs monde, ça kay mette la vie ou à gros danger. Ou ka exposer tout partenaire au poison et que tant qu'il a vini avec maladie. Servez yon condom chaque fois ou ka ni sexe. Changer qui est important pour découvrir maladie à bonheur ou ça vivre un bon santé même si ou ni maladie HIV. Pour responsabilité, protéger corps et puis les autres. Examiner corps. Aider du bout si même maladie HIV et l'autre maladie sexuelle.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD, all for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Thank you for staying with us. The Commonwealth Observer Mission to Dominica has declared the country's December 6 election as keeping within the country's legal framework. We go again to Andrea Louis for more.
The Commonwealth Observer Mission had been in Dominica since 26 November and delivered its interim report on 7th December. During the mission's stint in Dominica, members met with a wide range of stakeholders, including the President, Prime Minister, Leader of the Opposition, Electoral Commission, and the police. Chair of the Observer Group and former Foreign Affairs Minister for Sierra Leone says the December 6th general elections was in accordance with the law.
The 2019 general elections were generally conducted in accordance with Dominican legal framework. We are aware of the concerns expressed about the process of drawing up the voters list used at this election. Based on our observations, we cannot give an opinion about this general issue. However, we can report that we observe very few instances of voters' identifications being challenged in polling stations. The Dominica Electoral Commission and its staff generally performed well in conducting polling and counting of votes in accordance with the provisions of the law.
Ms. Bangura notes the Electoral Commission has a key role to play in the electoral reform process moving forward.
For the 2019 elections, there was a high level of focus on the Electoral Commission. Going forward, the effective functioning and the cohesiveness of the Electoral Commission should be a priority in the broader electoral reform agenda. We note that there is no requirement for voters to prove their identity using an ID card, as is in the case in many Commonwealth countries. We also note that the procedures for checking the eligibility of citizens living abroad were the subject of intense debates. The observations of the groups are that voters who turned out were able to identify themselves satisfactorily to electoral officials and exercise their franchise.
During the presentation of its preliminary results to the public, the Commonwealth Observer Mission Chair said the election results reflected the voice of the people who voted.
It is our considered view that the results reflect the collective will of the people who voted, and that the 6th December election was conducted in accordance with the laws of Dominica. We commend and congratulate all Dominicans who participated peacefully in an important civic exercise. We also congratulate the election authorities and polling staff, the political parties, the police forces, and party agents for their respective roles in ensuring the success of the electoral process.
The Commonwealth Observer Mission is also strongly recommending proper electoral reform before the next general elections. A full report of the Observer Group will be issued shortly. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
An OAS observer mission from the Organization of American States has commended Dominica's electoral process. Chair of the OAS observer mission and former Prime Minister of the Bahamas delivered the mission's preliminary report over the weekend. Poll workers were applauded for the diligence in their duties and knowledge of procedures to be taken during Election Day.
On Election Day, members of the mission were present in all of the country's 21 constituencies, from the open the polls to the tallying to the transmission of preliminary results, and visited 190 polling stations out of the 255, I think there are. Members reported that the polling stations they observed opened on time and possessed the full complement of staff and materials for a proper conduct of the poll. The majority of polling stations provide sufficient space for the conduct of the poll, and the secrecy of the ballot was maintained.
Ingram says the OAS will be happy to lend its support towards electoral reform efforts, which the Prime Minister Skerrit spoke of during his address to the nation on Friday night. During the weekend, the CARICOM observers also issued a statement that concluded that the will of the people was reflected in the election results. The Latin American Council for Electoral Experts was also on island and concluded that elections in Dominica were carried out in an orderly manner in a climate of tranquility, peace and respect within the voting centers, and the will of the citizens freely expressed at the polls was respected. Electoral reform will be the priority within the first 100 days of the new DLP administration. Prime Minister Skerrit made the commitment following his swearing in as Prime Minister on Saturday.
Recognizing that there are differences of opinion as to how the process should go forward, it is my intention, as indicated, to invite Caribbean jurists to chair a commission. And our intention is to also invite other partners in the hemisphere to assist us in carrying the process forward. And there will be both private and public hearings, and those who want to share their views will have an opportunity to share their views. And that coming out of these consultations overseen by this commission and chaired by these juries, we can agree on what the legislation should entail to usher in electoral reform. And as I've said to many people, when people hear about electoral reform, they believe that it is this expansive operation. The electoral reform which we are talking about in Dominica would essentially deal with 2 points, One, national ID cards for the purpose of voting, and two, the verification of electors. These are essentially the main points in that day. And but these things notwithstanding, we have always had free and fair elections in Dominica under the same laws and the same processes. And this election, since our independence, is no different. So I'm hoping that we can move forward in addressing this issue of electoral reform. And I think too we have to look at the social rift in our country, and to ensure that we reach more people with the resources that we have available to us, and to ensure that especially those who do not have the ability to go to the system, to access the system. We have to look at this.
The Prime Minister believes government should involve communities much more in projects being undertaken on their behalf.
I find too often we just appear in a community and start constructing a road. Nobody knows how long it was going to take. Nobody knows how it's going to impact the access to the residencies. And so we believe as politicians that people should be happy. Yes, they should be happy. But if they do not know, then they will be making all sorts of statements and comments. And then we think that they're not grateful. But I think we need to address the issue of having more consultation with the public on all aspects of government interventions and programs, so that there's more buy-in and there's more ownership of it. And I also think too that with regards to the social partners, that we should seek to have more structured dialogue. Not this one, I want some duty free, let me go to the government. Let us sit down, not only when we always want something from each other, but to see how we can work together to address some of the fundamental issues confronting the country and find common solutions to them.
The Prime Minister says a mechanism must also be found to improve relations with the parliamentary opposition.
And my intention, as I said, is to extend a formal invitation to the leader of opposition to engage with the government on some national issues. Obviously with no preconditions set, and so that's one of my intentions to do. We have a country to build. We have the dynamic Dominica to create. We have the resilient Dominica to strategy and vision to implement. So it's going to be hard work, hard work, very hard work. But I think, we can make it happen. We can make it happen, and with collective responsibility, a greater demonstration of love for our country. All of us in this country must understand that we have a stake. It's not about being selfish. It's not about only looking at our own narrow interests. It's about the wider country and what is going to be my contribution to the wider country, and how am I going to use my God-given talents to help build the country.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
To end the news, a look again at the headlines. Prime Minister scared to prioritize electoral reform as he takes his oath of office as Prime Minister for the 4th time. Election observers say Dominica's December 6 poll was free and fair. But the opposition leader says his party does not recognize the results of the December 6 elections as it was rigged. Feel free to contact us at news@mapping2k4.com. You may access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I'm Julian Morris. Thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.